When the trailer for Gameoverse released in January, I actually felt genuinely excited for another glitch show for the first time in years. I really mean it. So now that the show is out, I can say that is exactly what I was expecting it to be. And you know what? I like it. The pilot for Gameoverse is good. Although I do have a few notes as to why I do not think it's great, and how the pilot didn't really excite me by the end. Starting with the positives, I thought the animation art direction was stunning. It didn't blow me out of the water like how the Gaslight District did, but what is here is an admirable achievement. The animation did a good job of allowing the slower moments to be animated smoother, while the fast-paced chaotic moments utilized a lower frame rate to enforce the action in sharp line art. Speaking of which, the line art for this is really nice, with so many jagged edges and even around round objects. Every shape pops off the screen and is eye candy. The coloring is also really good. The show often puts more desaturated colors in the background when it needs to focus on the characters, since they are colorful and saturated. The animation of the show does an excellent job of communicating with the audience. The best comedy show was done visually as well. Seeing Flappers turn buff was hilarious, and there are many fun still frames with misinformation and fold. I also loved seeing the pixel art and video gamey styles done so well. They put in a lot of effort to make that look clean. I also loved seeing the video gamey aspects integrated into the show with little map transitions. I thought every voice actor did a good job, and they never took me out of the experience. Yes, even Schlatt. I've seen people critique the inconsistent sound quality in the pilot. That isn't my area of expertise, and the sound never distracted me, but that is something to consider. Moving on to the things I think could have been improved, I think the writing was only okay. I acknowledge that I can be picky and sometimes unforgiving when it comes to writing. I value the writing the most when it comes to stories, and if the writing is bad, it can sink everything else down with it. I thought the writing in the Gameoverse pilot was functional. It establishes the concept of the show, and it clearly outlines who the heroes and villains are. This pilot episode has 30 minutes to get me attached to the characters, and it failed to do that. I don't dislike any of the characters, but I don't share their emotions they're feeling at the moment. The main character, Kit, is the most guilty of this. The show establishes she has trauma and survivorship guilt, but doesn't execute those emotions well enough. We don't even get to listen to the people she cares about speak. Kit goes through like 3 emotional breakdowns in this pilot alone. She's still a good protagonist, but I think this show played its hand with emotional beats way too early. I understand that Gameoverse has been a thing for like 17 years or so now, and their creators are eager to get it out there, but I think they could have spent more time considering the audience's perspective. The show starts with the Lernosaurus being in Kit's spaceship. The audience would not immediately get the context for that unless they saw the trailer. I've seen people critique the pacing of the pilot, but I actually think it's fine. Having the pilot go over Kit losing that planet in the first episode gives the audience a complete understanding of how the rules of the show work. I'm of the opinion that it shouldn't have tried to have all those emotional moments when it didn't build the base for those emotions first. 30 minutes is enough time to build up the base for those emotional moments, but the show also wants to be funny and action-packed. This makes it feel like a typical Saturday morning cartoon, with all the benefits and blunders of a Saturday morning cartoon. I prefer when pilots start smaller to get the audience attached to only 2 characters or so and a setting. It's impossible to get the audience to love every character in one episode. Look at the Digital Circus. It took 3 episodes for the audience to truly understand and appreciate Kinger. Pilots like Digital Circus, Lackadaisy, Metrunner, and yes, even Hell of a Boss do this. Yeah, I said Hell of a Boss too, sue me. Pilots don't need to be perfect or even good, but they need the audience to love at least one character and the setting. As a consequence of Gameoverse not doing this, it has the screen time split between many different characters. I think it did a good job establishing Fold in this gimmick, but I don't know anything about misinformation. She is just there. Her name doesn't even factor into her character, she is just an obstacle. The villain was established to be everything he needs to be, but he is also just there. Side note on Fold in particular, it's really cool how the show has both Kit and Flappers fall for the same trap. It's a hidden detail that communicates to the audience that the villains are malicious and sinister. I will say that I am curious to see how they'll balance the use of comedy and when not to be comedic when it comes to villains though. I think it was fine to split Kit and Caboodle in this episode, since that is what it wanted to do, It allows us to see how they work independently, but they are a tiny bit lacking when it comes to their dynamic. This show, at least right now, almost feels like it is as wide as an ocean, but deep as a puddle. I know I've laid out a lot of negatives, but I did genuinely like this show. I was just hoping that it could exceed my expectations and keep me excited. I know a lot of other people love this show already. Good for them. If you like this show too, that's great. I'm glad you like it. I just wish that I could join you all. I will be watching all the future episodes of Gameoverse because I'm already submerged in the Glitch fandom, but I hope the future episodes of Gameoverse prove all my critiques wrong, and I do wish it is successful. Even as Glitch moves away from the making art in your bedroom appeal it once had, they are still making super high quality pieces of art with tons of passion and love put into them. Please, if you haven't already, watch Gameoverse. The link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a wonderful day.